Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hello, everybody. It is the Inspiration Station. Y'all already know what it is. It is Friday, February the 27th, 2026. This is your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer, none other than Joshua Lenox. And I am so glad to be here with you all as I am every Friday. So as y'all are coming on in, we're going to bust a move in a minute. I hope that y'all have had an exciting day, had an amazing day, a fun day, a wonderful day, a conquering day, a victorious day. And I mean, just authentically being who you are in all of your day, no matter what. And as I always tell y'all, if you've had some challenges, because I know you had some, and I know you probably have some right now, I do, but guess what? We can imagine that we know that those things are going to be overcome anyway, shape, form, or fashion. We're going to overcome them. And we are more than conquerors through Christ who loves us. So there's nothing that we can't conquer. There's nothing that we can't do. There's nothing we can't accomplish. And there's nothing that we can't knock down and walk over. Can I get a witness, somebody? As y'all are coming in, I just want to go ahead and say, much love to each and every one of you that continue to share, continue to watch, continue to subscribe. It's just exciting to see what God is doing, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm glad that you all are a part of it as well, because we can't do this without you watching. I can't do this without you all watching, and we're doing this together, so I'm very excited about it, and continuing to just watch how things continue to grow. As the year continues to progress, y'all, March the 1st is Sunday. I just want to put a good old check-in right there to let y'all know that time is swift right now, and give you a good old reminder that we're getting ready to march into some things, getting ready to spring into some things. Yeah, we're gonna get that time to go up too. Have a little bit more light outside. This whole dark getting so, it gets dark so soon. It's just irritating sometimes. Want to be able to get off from work and go run on the track and see a little bit of sun, and it's not out there. But ready for a little bit more warmer weather. I don't know about y'all. If y'all can put in the comments if you're ready for a little bit more warmer weather. To people overseas, I don't know what your weather looks like right now. Some of y'all are probably are having some level of a different tropical or springtime feel, wintertime. I don't know what season we're in, because you can almost get all seasons in one day. But I want to say much love out there to each and every one of you on YouTube Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, and all the listeners out there on Spotify, Audible, and Apple. So y'all, let's go ahead and get started. But as you're coming in, please let me know how you're doing. Let me know how everything is going. And I am loving the feedback from the Inspiration Station, just knowing how things are touching you guys and things are reaching your hearts, because that's what it's all about. And again, making sure you're making some movement with what you're learning here. Because again, we're learning together. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't ever want to stop learning. And again, I want to always get more wisdom with my life. I don't want to ever feel like I have arrived or I know so much and I don't need to know anymore. That's just not how life works. And even as we continue to make mistakes, fail forward, those are things that are going to teach us great lessons. Because what do I always tell y'all? The only losses we take, the only L's we take are lessons. I'm sorry, we don't lose. The only L's we take are lessons. All right. So if this is your first time here on the Inspiration Station, this is definitely not going to be your last. You're stuck like glue with us, and we're glad that you're here. And we want you to continue to come every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, make sure you share. Make sure you share, make sure you subscribe and like and all of that good stuff. And we're going to jump right in. What is the Inspiration Station? What is it? Who is it? Who it be? The Inspiration Station is definitely not just the person who is sitting before you that is the vessel. That nickname came from someone calling me the Inspiration Station, because they felt like I was like a radio station, that when I would send things out, it was like signals that everyone needed to hear. And here we are, fast forward, started in 2025, and here we are in 2026, going strong with the Inspiration Station. And what that means is that we are all inspirations to people, and we're inspirations even to ourselves. And if you are doubting that for even a second, you are lying to yourself. Because if you look in the Rolodex or you look in the categories of your life, you can pull something pull something up immediately and be reminded, hey, I can overcome anything. I can, if I did that back then, I could do that then. I can do that now. So there's nothing that you're limited in when it comes to inspiring yourself to move forward to the future of you that you're continuing to become. Also, this is a place where we're open, we're honest, we're vulnerable, not just with each other, but also with ourselves, because often the relationship that's neglected the most is what, y'all? The one with ourselves. I can hear all of y'all. I know y'all just so hype about it because y'all know I was gonna slow it down. I didn't last week. I was like, they know it. Ain't no need for me to slow it down. But the relationship that's often neglected is the one that we have with ourselves. So open and honest and vulnerable with ourselves. We're just looking in the mirror and not running from what we see, not running from what scares us, not running from our past, but we're running towards ourselves so that we become the best version of ourselves. This is also a place where not only are you being inspired, encouraged, and motivated, but we're putting that to action. Whether that action is just a thought, because it has to start with a thought before your feet move. So when you leave off of these broadcasts every Friday, it should be encouraging you to want to do something, make a change, write something down, assess your life, evaluate your life, whatever that is. Also, we will be having guests that will be coming on frequently to be interviewed, just to sit down with us and let us get all in their business, all in their Kool-Aid, get as much information as we can from them, wisdom nuggets from them. So for us to put in our toolbox and for us to be able to continue to move forward with our own lives. I think we're all a mixture of many different influences that we have in our lives with other people, with experiences that make us who we are today and has helped us to become the person that we are at this very moment. So that's going to be exciting. Some more people will be coming on very soon. Y'all been patient. Continue to be patient. We're lining people up right now as we speak. But also, I want to say this is a place where you are not only held and being able to have a safe space here. But even though I might not be able to speak directly to each and every one of you, where we're able to see you and have a dialogue face to face, you get to hear somebody and listen to somebody who can see you, can hear you, can understand you in whatever walk of life you're in. So without further ado, let's start, y'all. I know y'all are ready to dive into y'all's Friday evenings and stuff like that, and I'm gonna let you get on off into your evenings and all of that good stuff. And whenever y'all are watching this, whatever your day is, whether it's morning time, whether it's afternoon, whether it's evening, whenever, whatever, whoever. So let's jump right in, y'all. The title of tonight is just called Now Deloading, Scaling Back to Level Up. Now Deloading, scaling back to level up. You might ask me, what is deloading? And if you work out right now, put something in the comments to let me know that you work out. Put a hand or put a fire emoji, a smiley face, arm, a muscle arm or something like that, strong arm, to let me know that you know what deloading means. If you work out, you should know what that is. And even if you do work out and you don't know what that is, if you don't know, you're about to know. So what is deloading? Deload is a planned temporary reduction in training intensity, volume, or frequency. This typically happens for about 5 to 10 days, designed to allow the body and the nervous system to recover while maintaining movement patterns. So I'll read that again. A deload is a planned temporary reduction in training intensity, volume, or frequency, typically lasting for 5 to 10 days, designed to allow the body and the nervous system to recover while maintaining movement patterns. Now, let me tell y'all something. I am a person who I work out every morning, and I'm up before the sun is up. And sometimes it's a push to get out the bed, but I get up and make it happen because if you're gonna do it, you got to do it. And almost like your future self is depending on you to do what you need to do. It's almost better for me to work out in the mornings. I tried the evenings for some months, and that was cool. But then I was like, but I like doing cardio in the evening, so gonna have to bite the bullet and get up mighty early. But it's always worth it. One thing that I don't always enjoy or that does not always excite me is when it comes around time for the deload a week. And shout out to my trainer, Martin Hopkins, aka Taz, from Fantastic Fitness, all the way in Memphis, Tennessee. He's been my trainer for years, but at the same time, he's always written these plans for me. I've slipped up and got off of them in the years past, but then when it was time for me to get back in and get back on them, it kicked my behind. But he's very good at what he does, and I remember the first time I was like, Deload week. Why do I have to do that? And he was explaining it to me. And I mean, it's all written down in my plan. And I called him and I was like, "Hey, you got to tell me about this because I'm about to. This is gonna slow down my gains. I'm not going. I'm gonna lose muscle. I'm gonna this, that, and the other." He had to explain it to me. He was like, it's going to do quite the opposite because you're giving your body a chance to rest and recover, and you might not do the same weight that you're lifting up. Cut it down to maybe 50%, 50 to 60% of what you lifted. Do less reps. Do a little light cardio. And I'm like, are you crazy? I've been working my tail off. This is going to make it worse. So he laughed at me, and I never really enjoyed the deload week when it comes at the beginnings of me training with him, but over time, I realized when I take a little bit of a rest that week, once I get back to the next week and I start lifting weight heavy, it's like your body gets tricked. And now I'm able to do heavier weight. I'm stronger. I have a little bit more endurance, a little bit more stamina. It's almost like my body's like, oh yeah, we ready to get at it like we never have before because we done got some rest. We didn't have all of this pressure on us, all of this weight on us. So now since we've taken a break and gotten some rest, now we're ready to go full throttle like never before because now you're even stronger than you were. And it took me a long time to have that concept, but I started to think about that, and I know was deload week for me. And again, I don't look forward to it. So it's like I'm going to the gym to do these little bit of reps. And I'm like, I hope ain't nobody looking at me who's used to seeing me in here. They probably like, why is he doing? He's lifting 45 pounds on to do squats. What is he doing? That's like little kids weight. But I don't really think about it. But it's like this is not. I just don't like it. But at the same time, I also see the results when I rest and when I don't do as much as I used to. And it's like giving my joints and my muscles time to just kind of recuperate. But really quick, what this means is instead of stopping completely when doing the deload week in working out, you reduce weight. You reduce the total reps or the sets that you do. You also reduce the overall effort, and you also maintain technique and consistency. I want you to think about that also related to your life, not just going to the gym. And for y'all that work out, you're getting a good old hack right now if you've never done this. But I want you to apply it to your life. Sometimes when we need to take a step back or a deload in our lives, there's a moment where we need to reduce the weight. Maybe the heavy responsibilities you have, you need to lay some of those things down or pull back a little bit, reduce the total sets or reps, whatever that you usually do, what you're so structured and doing on a consistent basis, you might have to lessen that. Reducing your overall effort. Not saying you can give 100% and not be at 100%, but at the same time, you might start taking the percentages down with certain things that you do in your life. And again, I want y'all to think about this. It's just a week. And for you, when we talk about a deload, it could mean you have a deload that's a week in your life from things, a month, a couple of months, and maybe even a year, just depending upon what it is. And it's probably just going to be in one isolated area of your life, or it could be more. Also, you maintain technique and consistency. When I think about working out and even going to do squats, I'm usually doing a nice amount to squat. And when I have to lower the weight, I actually am able to say, is my form right? Because then when I'm, doing less weight, I can focus more on making sure that my technique is still in place. My form is really good. So it makes me reinforce what I need to do moving forward and what I have been doing, just making sure that I'm in check. Okay. It's strategic recovery. It's not inactivity. So when we're stepping away, taking a deload in our lives, you're not just doing nothing. You're going to still do some things, but you're just going to lessen it. But it's a strategic move in recovering your body, giving your body what it needs, giving your life what it needs, giving your family what it needs, whatever that might mean to you, but it's not inactivity. So what I want to do really quick is talk about 7 areas to be able to recognize when you need a deload, or I actually just give you a little information on what that can look like related to life, not so much working out. Okay. And then we're going to be out of here, I promise. So first thing is recognition. Strength requires cycles. How does that apply to your life? And what do you mean, Josh? That means that these are when seasons where you have to step back from the things that you love. That might mean work, relationships. And when I say work, I don't mean, again, it's not inactivity. It just might mean you reduce your hours. You might not work as many hours as you used to. You might have been working overtime for several months, and it's like, okay, now I probably need to go down maybe doing 6 hours a week. I don't know. That's just an example. Relationships. You might pull back from being so accessible and available to people. You might not, instead of calling people on the phone, you might go to text messaging for just a little time. I'll able to call sometime. I have one of my best friends. She says the best thing I ever taught her was boundaries. And I know sometimes she'll have moments and she'll say, and it's very rare. But one time I remember she said, "Hey, brother, I'm gonna have to probably I'm gonna be kind of to myself for a while. So just know I love you, and if you absolutely need me, I'll be here. But I'm just gonna kind of need some time to myself." That's one of those things. Sometimes you might have to just draw back for a short amount of time from relationships of all kinds, your family, your friends, maybe even your spouse in a way. And again, pulling back doesn't mean like you run away or get ghosted. If you're with your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or anything like that, that doesn't mean you cut them off. It just might mean we might not be doing as much activities as we used to be doing. We might not talk as much over the phone. We might not do date night as much as we used to, or for maybe a week if we haven't, we might just take some time apart but still stay connected. Also, this is where you might be pulling away from visibility, being seen so much, especially if you're a person who is highly visible in whatever capacity that you serve in. You might take a step back for just a minute, take a little hiatus for just a moment. Sometimes people call it a sabbatical, I know in the church. But this is not because you're incapable. This is because growth requires recovery. So sometimes you don't even realize all the things you're putting out, all the energy you're expending every day. And you might say, hey, wait a minute, let me pull back just a little bit. And it's just a season of this. And sometimes that season might just be a week. Sometimes that season might be months. Sometimes the season might be a year or two. So it's like you might be a person who needs to pull away from things as to gain strength because it's just a cycle. Just like we talk about cycles with, you can think about clothes. You can think about a life cycle from a person going from a baby to a toddler to what is it, y'all? Yeah, that. but continuing the cycles of life, how things are always changing and evolving. The truth to that is that constant output without pause could lead to breakdown. If you're always going, and many of you, I know you do it. You go, you're go-getters, you're handling your business, you got high lives that, requires a lot of you, has a great demand on you. But sometimes if you're just always putting out, that can lead to a breakdown. So it's like, I need to make sure I take moments to pause in certain seasons. And again, it doesn't mean I got to pause forever. It just might mean for a week. It might even mean just a couple of days, just to take a pause and realize I need a moment to step back. I need a moment to step back from even the things that I love the most. Okay. Number two, reduction is not regression. The life hacking that I want you to see is that this might mean you say more. No, you might say more. You might say no more often than you usually do. You might have to turn down some things for a moment. Usually where you're okay with saying yes, where you're used to showing up and being there, whatnot, you might have to reduce that. Also, you might have to pull back socially, as I was even talking about relationships. Again, you might not go out to meet your friends. You might not be so involved heavily with your organizations, with things that require your time. With people, you might have to pull back for just a moment. And again, you're not regressing, you're just reducing for just a moment. Also, that's your availability. Again, your calendar might need to change. You might say, shut off Saturday completely, shut Sunday afternoon off, just for me. Whatever that is, I've got to reduce my hours of availability just for a moment. Also, this might allow you to spend more time alone and be quiet for a moment. Sometimes sit with yourself, love on yourself, have some time to reflect with yourself, have some time to really pour into you. And if you reduce some of these things, as we mentioned, whether that is, your boundaries with saying no, pulling back socially, reducing your availability, spending time alone, well, that's not me going backwards. That's actually going to allow me to move forward even better than before. Okay. The truth with that is from the outside, it may look like you're doing less, but from the inside, you're rebuilding. So sometimes some people, I know I'm one of those people, I know y'all are too. Sometimes you don't like to do less because you feel like you're being lazy. You feel like there's got to be something to do. You sitting still too long. That's just you lazy. You're not doing enough. There's so much more you could be doing. Why are you sitting down? Get up. Why are you talking about you want to take a nap? What is your problem? There's so much more you can do. You're not being productive. Sometimes it's productivity and you resting. That does not mean go to sleep, but you're resting away from things for a moment. Okay. So even from the outside, it might feel like, I just feel like my life is not, I'm not doing all that I could be doing right now. I'm not giving it 100%. And it's like, but what if there's something on the inside that's being built up? Like my courage, my endurance, my vision for my life, certain plans that I have. And maybe I'm not able to adhere to those things if I'm always on the go. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Number three. I told you I'm going to be quick. Repair happens in the quiet. I think about even when you go actually work out, your repairing does not happen when you're working out. It happens after the workout. And that's why you get like DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, where you could be a whole day and it's gone and you don't feel anything. And all of a sudden you start walking around and you're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And it may have come when you were sleeping at night, or may have come because you've not been as active yet because you haven't been back to the gym. And now, but your body's repairing. But in life, this goes to where your character will deepen in silence, prayer, reflection, therapy, and could be other things as well. Repair happens in quiet, meaning that there's some things in you that won't be repaired if you got a lot of noise going on around you. Some healing you need to that needs to take place. Some wounds you have, some past hurts that you have, some shattered self-esteem or confidence. Maybe it's sometimes where you have to be pulled back so that you're not in public and you're leading and bleeding, or that you are pouring out your pain on people when you're doing things and you're not operating in the most healthiest space. So sometimes repair has to take place where your character's being built, needs to take place in maybe some level. And when I say isolation, I don't mean hiding. I mean in the sense of it's almost like a protective quietness, to where I'm having to do some work on myself. So the noise around me might have to quiet down a little bit. So I'm not as visible as I used to be because there's some character building happening on the inside of me. Stay with me, y'all. Identity is tested. Number four. So who are you when you're not performing, leading, producing, being heavily needed? Who are you? Sometimes we get tied to our personality, our identity is tied to what we produce, what we do, what our output is. And as I always say, sometimes we're loved and accepted for what we do, but not for who we are. So sometimes you can end up linking who you are to what you do. So, for instance, I remember my professor asking me in the music department when I was in undergrad. He asked me, he said, "Mr. Lennox, who are you?" And I immediately, because I could have an answer for you. And I wasn't going to delay because, again, that would mean that I'm not sure of myself, or I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm confused. So I wanted to make sure I was always certain. I was like, "I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm an actor, I'm a choreographer, I'm a this." And he was like, "You'll get it one day." I was like, "What? I get it now." I understood when I became a therapist, because sometimes our identity is linked to where we get validation, where people support us, where people show up for us. And not knowing whoever you are, as far as your identity, that's something you can do 24 hours a day, something you can be 24 hours a day. So I can't say I'm a singer as my identity because I can't sing 24 hours a day. I'm gonna have nodules on my voice. I can't say I'm a dancer 24 hours a day because I'm gonna be at the chiropractor. Okay, y'all get what I'm saying? Can I say that I'm an encourager? Absolutely, because I can encourage wherever, whatever time, and to whoever. Can I say I'm a son? Yes, because I have a mother and I'm a son. I could do it's 24 hours a day. Can I say I'm a friend? Yes, I'm a friend. Can I say that I'm a nephew? I mean, I could just go down the list of things. When we think about who we are versus what we do, this happens sometimes when we have our deload. We step back a little bit and really figure out, who are you when you're not performing? Who are you when you're not in front of people? Who are you when you're in a quiet place? Who are you in private? And a life thing, something I want you to think about with that is just, I'm not what I do. I'm not what I do. That's just a part of, it is a part of who I am. I'm not what I do, but that is a part of who I am. Okay. Number five, the nervous system resets. Y'all stay with me. Y'all there? Y'all there? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? We almost done. I said 7 points. We on number five. The nervous system resets. And in life, when you think about your nervous system, just think about how constant responsibility, if you're a person who's in high demand, emotional intensity, those things, those you in environments that require a lot of you, that can exhaust your nervous system because your body, those receptors even in your brain are always firing because you're always thinking about what's next. What am I supposed to do? What do they need from me? What's the next move? Especially if you're a person who's in leadership, if you're someone who is operating in a high intensity space, whether that's with work, whether that's even with your family, if you're a parent. You're always thinking about what's the next thing, what am I supposed to be doing? And sometimes your body goes into almost a overload, which is why you need a deload. And the truth in that is scaling back will regulate stress, it restores your clarity, and it also rebuilds your patience. I know everybody has patience, right? Everybody's really good in patience on here with me tonight, right? I thought so. Yeah. Just don't ask God for patience because just ask Him to just give you the grace for patience, or just say you're a patient person because He will put you in a position to where that patience will be tested and you will be crying. Okay. But yes, so the nervous system gets to reset when we take a deload in our life, when we just step back. And I want you all to get in your mind, even though I'm talking about with working out as a deload week, it doesn't mean it's a week for you in your life. That might just be a vacation you go take for a few days. That might mean a couple of days. That might mean a week. That might mean months. That might even mean a year where you just pull back from one area in your life, but you're still operating in it, just maybe not at full capacity, possibly. Next thing is passion returns refined. This is number 6. Your passion will return refined. When you rest properly, you love deeper, you lead clearer, you create clearer, and also you move with intention instead of constant urgency. I always say when somebody's probably dealing with perfectionism at times, or even I would say at moments when you are a person who's intense about performing and giving excellence, there are two things that can happen because you want things to be done so well and in a great way. You might become overwhelmed because everything is viewed as urgent. Everything has to be done right now. This cannot delay. Everything is urgent. So there's no prioritization or organization from greatest urgency to least urgency. So you're trying to do everything at one time. So that's then going to lead you to become either overwhelmed, and then you procrastinate, or either you burn yourself out to get everything done. So what would that do to whatever your passion is? It's probably you're gonna start to get compassion fatigue, burnout. You're probably not gonna really want to show up fully as you usually do. So when we do take a step back, our passions can return refined. We step back, and when it's time to step back up into whatever that thing is, your heart for that is probably grown. You have a greater even appreciation and respect for what you do. So you're probably not even withholding anything, and you probably have a little bit more boundary around your output. Okay. Last one, y'all. Say last one. This is number 7, completion. Number 7 is completion. Number 7 says you're propelled, not just restored. You're propelled, not just restored. And for your life, what that means is that this prepares you for higher weight. So now you can take on more now because you step back. You can take on more, handle a little bit more. You can take on greater responsibility now. Some tasks and duties, you probably can increase your plate a little bit because you have taken a moment to take a reset, take a breather, take a rest stop. Also, this restores and prepares you for greater influence. You can probably take on the demand of what that looks like. With your talents, your skills, and your abilities, and what you're going to deliver to people now. And now, also, maybe God sees now that you have taken a step back and you have had a little bit of a deload, a rest, or a reprieve. So now He can open up other opportunities for you, open up other doors for you, because now you probably have a little bit more of clarity on where you're going, have a little bit more clarity on what you want to do, have a little bit more clarity on your boundaries of what you can what you can do and what you can't do. Also, it expands your emotional capacity. Now, maybe you're a little bit more intelligent with your emotions as you're moving forward with your life or whatever your career is, with your family. And then the list goes on, y'all. But those are the 7 things. And only the last thought I really want to have for y'all is just to tell you that even when you examine yourself with recognition of strength that requires cycles, reduction is not regression, knowing that repair happens in the quiet places. Your identity will be tested. We need to know, okay, who are you without all of these things that you put out into the world? Who are you in the quiet place? Who are you to the core of who you are when people are not around? Uh, the nervous system will reset. That's number 5. Your passion returns refined, and also you're propelled, not just restored. So You almost look at it as like a launching pad. When you're sitting, when that rocket's sitting there and that fire is rumbling, it's going or whatnot, there's a lot of things going on inside of that shuttle, which is like yourself. And sometimes that might be that state right there saying you're propelled, not restored. I mean, not just restored, not just restored. So in that shuttle, that being you, there's things being prepared on the outside of you and on the inside of you to get ready to take you to a place that you've never been before. But there's had to be some workings done before that happens. And sometimes that's only going to happen when you take some weight off, do some assessment, do some evaluation, and know that you are the greatest part about who you are is who you are, not what you do. And sometimes you have to have that realization with yourself before you're thrusted back out into the world or thrusted back into those things that you were put here to do, your calling, your assignment, your purpose here on earth, the things you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes you need to take a step back and rest in some areas that you were given 100% at. But it's like, okay, let's take a step back from, because also this might be a pivot for your life right now. Some things you might be getting ready to go into a different direction or to a higher dimension. So, what I want to say is if you're being pulled back right now, I just want you to know that does not mean you're being set back. If you are feeling like you're in silence right now, that's not stagnation. Also, knowing that rest does not mean quitting. And again, rest does not mean you lay your tail down all day. That means that you're resting from some things. Okay. And resting from some things doesn't just mean the hours or your availability, your family, your friends, or things of that nature. It might be resting from old negative thoughts that you've had about yourself, old negative beliefs, irrational beliefs, old bad habits, some things that just cannot go with you into this next version of who you're becoming. Okay. Four questions I want to give you for homework, or just to think about, not so much homework, but just to think about. Then I'm gonna release y'all. But first question is, where in your life are you overdue for a deload? Where do you know, like, I know I should have stepped back from some things and I'm overdue this, but I know I got to keep going because that's me. I handle my business. I ain't got time to sit back. Oh, well, if I'm tired, I'm going to keep pushing. I got stuff to do. I got dreams. I got things to make happen. Where in your life are you overdue for a deload? And again, that could just be in one area, y'all. Don't think about your entire life where you shut everything down. This ain't no shutdown. Then number two, what would scaling back look like without shame? Sometimes we don't want to step back and stuff because it's like, oh no, I'm gonna be embarrassed because then I got this momentum and all this stuff that I'm doing, and what if people think that I'm giving up or that I'm quitting or I'm stopping? And it's like that has nothing. We don't really care about what people think. We care about you because you only got one you, and we got to make sure you're at your best shape, your best mindset, your best heart posture, the best quality of who you are. We need to make sure that you're there with it. We don't care about shame. We don't care about what people would think. You know what your plan is. You know what your vision is for your life and the thing, your steps that are going to be ordered for you by the Lord. And God knows because He's the planner. He is the planner of your life. With the third one, y'all, is who are you when you're not producing? That's a big question. Sometimes that can feel like a gut punch. I know. When you're not being able to produce in certain areas that you used to be doing on a consistent basis, it's like it makes you go look in the mirror and be like, okay, you do know who you are, right? You know who you are separate from what you do, correct? You do know that you're amazing without the applause. You do know that you are important without people telling you how well you do. And people will change on you anyway because they'll find somebody else that they like to do. You know, one day they say they love you and you're amazing and the best thing. And then they'll find somebody else that they're more drawn to and drop you like a bag of potatoes or something. So, number four is what might become stronger if you rested? What might become stronger if you rested? Sometimes we hear rest and it's like a cuss word. It's like, oh my God, rest? What is that? I remember my grandfather, he was a doctor, a surgeon. And sometimes when we would go visit him, my mother and I, he would be on call all the time. Sometimes he didn't even sleep in the bed. He slept on his couch because if that pager went off, he had to get to the hospital. But I sometimes would wonder, like, what would it have looked like if he took some time more for vacation? If he took some time to just go do the things that he liked to do. Now, he would take time sometime, but if he did more of that, what would they have looked like for him? So I'm asking you too, what might become stronger if you rested? Okay. And it's not but sleep, rested from some things. So Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you on tonight on the Inspiration Station. I hope that each and every one of you were able to take something from this and realize it's okay to take a deload, aka rest. And it doesn't mean you get stagnant or you stop doing what you're doing. You just might not operate in the same frequency, the same intensity, but also you are still making progress. And don't forget, you are the greatest priority that you have. You are the greatest priority you have. And what good, people say it all the time, but what good are you if you're not taking care of you? How are you going to help anybody else? But it might help if you rest from some things sometimes, if you do some regrouping, if you do a little respite in your life, do a little R&R, go do some rest and relaxation somewhere. Go take a cruise somewhere. But seriously, I hope that you all gained something from this tonight as we talked about now deloading, scaling back to level up. And sometimes I hear it all the time. My pastor says it, and other people I've heard say sometimes about the bow and arrow, how sometimes the further you stretch back the bow, the further the arrow is going to go. And I know from my own life, I have seen many times where just when I think I'm getting somewhere, and it's like God to be like, and I'm like, what, God, now what? And then it's like, he stretches me. But I also notice the further he stretches me, the further I go the next time. So I'm saying that to you too. If you feel like you're in a season of being stretched, if you feel like you're in a place where you think you're not producing just because you're not on the same production level that you're used to, just know you're being stretched because you got to go further. And that's going to require more faith, more trust, more belief in yourself, more confidence, taking more risks, taking more leaps of faith, and seeing things that in order for you to see things that you have never seen before, you're going to have to become something you've never been before. Okay? So I will see y'all next Friday. Get on out of here. Go have a good weekend, good rest, a safe weekend. Enjoy the last weekend of February because March the 1st is right around the corner and that will be the next month. So I will see y'all next Friday here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Wait a minute. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And as I always say to my lovely international people, family, just love y'all so much. But, y'all are going to have to keep up with your time zones better than I can. But I'm just glad that you continue to watch and continue to share. So I love each and every one of y'all. And again, remember, rest does not mean that I go to sleep. It just means that I might have to take a little step back from some things, scale back so that I can level up. All right. I love y'all. You've always been great. You're just getting better. And you know that now, and you're embracing it. Love now more than ever. More than ever. We need it. We need the unity, and it starts with you. All right. See y'all next Friday, right here. I was about to say right now, right here, right now. Anyway, I will see y'all here next Friday. Love y'all. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.